Hello and welcome to How to Start a Podcast. I'm Georgina and I'm here to give you some bite-sized tips on how to start your journey. In episode 1, we looked at the idea. So hopefully you're feeling more confident about it, you've got a name and even a logo. In episode 2, we looked at the interview. Who are you going to approach to interview? Maybe they're friends, that will make it easier. Maybe you've come up with a guest list of 2 or 3 people you want to approach, and hopefully you've come up with 5 go-to questions that you can ask to anyone that you interview. These are general questions. This episode is all about the tech you need to record the actual interview. So I use StreamYard, it's free. You can pay a bit more and it allows you to put in your own logo. It can record in video and audio, but when you are recording, you can see each other side by side. So it makes recording an interview much more personal. It makes it much easier because it's a bit like chatting to a friend. It's very easy, just follow the instructions. You need to use Chrome, not Safari, that's the one thing I will say. And you send a link to your guest and then they follow the instructions at their end and you press record and go. Now afterwards you can either use both the video or the audio or just the audio. You can choose to download which or both, whatever. So on top of the StreamYard, when I'm actually recording the interview, when I first started out, I just used a set of headphones. This helps to, cut out any additional feedback. These are not expensive headphones. They're just the old fashioned ones that you stick in the computer. So I'm using StreamYard. I've got a set of headphones. And at first I was using the mic on the computer, which I have to say was absolutely fine. And when I started to try and mess around with it, it was a disaster and I sounded tinny. I won't tell you which episode that was in, but you will be able to hear it. But then I progressed to this. So this is a Blue Nano Yeti, I believe. I'll put the link to it in the comments below so you can see. It's not cheap. I don't think it's essential when you're starting out. All you need to do is find a platform that you can use which doesn't cost you any money, that you can record it so you can do remote interviews, and really you just need a set of headphones. So you need a computer that you can use. There are some additional things to remember when you're recording. Number 1, make sure your iPhone or your mobile phone is on silent. I have always done that. But number 2, if you have an additional telephone in your room, remove it and put it somewhere else. Yes, you will hear in one of my interviews the telephone ringing for quite some time. The next thing to remember is that you're recording on Wi-Fi, so your Wi-Fi may drop and there's nothing you can really do about that a lot of the time. All I would recommend is if you can't hear the other person, that means that the sound has not been recorded. So you need to stop and get them to start it again, try and help them to start where they kind of left off. I try not to do this because it ruins the flow. So that's why the telephone ringing stayed in, because the person I was interviewing was, she was speaking so fluidly, I didn't want to interrupt. You need to decide, how disruptive is this to the interview? Is it taking away from what people are hearing, or can you just ignore it and carry on? I think unfortunately these things are going to happen to you regardless, as they certainly have with me. And if you're recording in video, I've looked like a melted ice cream for an entire interview because the Wi-Fi was so bad. But what I have found is that the audio always records at my end, but I have lost a bit when I've been recording a guest. So that's something to remember. At this stage, don't worry about the volume levels, because there's a great thing that you can use that will help to sort those out when you get to uploading it to where you're going to host. If you want to know any more details about other ways to record your podcast, I'm going to put a link below to Buzzsprout, an article they've done on different ways that you can record remotely. So next week, we're going to look at what you do once you've recorded the interview. So that's it from me. This was a long one. Take care. Bye-bye.